think so, buddy.
Reacted strangely to your name. It ain't good.
Kill him with one hit.
The film opens with a group of men hanging out at a bowling alley. Shortly after, two large men in black coats enter and approach a man named Luis. Luis is in debt to a man named Big Doug and hasn't made his payment on time. One of the men who's come to collect is Tommy Wicker. However, when Luis's men try to stop them, Tommy easily overpowers them. He and his partner confront Luis directly and force his face onto the bowling ball machine. While Luis pleads, Tommy lets a bowling ball smash into his nose and warns him that he's getting off lightly. Following this, Tommy and his partner are shown at a clinic for physical exams. In a quick mirror scene, Tommy admires himself shirtless and remarks that he's still in great shape. He later meets with Big Doug, his boss, and updates him on the debts he has recovered. Big Doug inquires about Tommy's wife and brother, revealing that Tommy is working to repay a debt owed by his brother, Eddie. Big Doug assigns Tommy a new task: deliver a mysterious package to a crime boss known as the German. In exchange, Eddie's debt will be cleared. When Tommy asks what's in the package, Doug tells him not to ask questions, he's being paid just to deliver it. Tommy accepts and departs, acknowledging Luis, who overheard their discussion. After Tommy leaves, Big Doug calls someone to let them know the package is on its way. That person is the German. He steps out of a car and enters a restaurant to meet with another crime boss named Nicholas. Nicholas is furious that the German intercepted a shipment of silver. Their conversation is tense, and we learn Nicholas has gunmen waiting in the kitchen. While Nicholas tries to play it cool and talk about lunch, the German, suspicious, removes his sunglasses, grabs a knife, and prepares for a fight. Four gunmen storm into the room, but the German kills one instantly, uses the body as a shield, and miraculously survives a barrage of gunfire. He then uses the dead man's weapon to shoot down the others, climbs through a vent into the kitchen, and eliminates the remaining attackers. He finds Nicholas hiding and kills him with a knife, then calmly drinks alcohol, cleans his weapon, and leaves. Meanwhile, Tommy visits his brother Eddie in prison and tells him the debt will be paid. Eddie protests, saying Tommy shouldn't be doing this for him, admitting that he might not have done the same. Though Eddie does care about Tommy, he's worried that Tommy might be putting himself in danger, especially since Eddie's stuck in prison with Big Doug's allies. They part ways, and Tommy heads home to his wife Darla. After an intimate moment, she asks Tommy what he'd do if he got lucky with a miracle. She suggests he find safer work, maybe as a bouncer somewhere else, but Tommy replies that it wouldn't pay enough, and Eddie's debt still looms. Darla understands. They clearly love each other, but Tommy never says "I love you," believing she already knows how he feels. The next day, Tommy and his partner Julio are en route to deliver the package. Julio is curious about what could be inside something so small, but Tommy insists he doesn't want to know. Julio's curiosity wins, and he opens it. His expression darkens, but before he can speak, he's shot. Tommy crashes the car, escapes into a nearby store, and is immediately attacked by a group of mercenaries. After a fierce gunfight, he manages to fend most of them off and flee. Their leader, Devin, is surprised at how skilled Tommy is, remarking that he was supposed to be a simple bouncer. They track him to a gas station where he had stolen a bike, and Devin kills the bike's owner after reviewing the footage. Devin contacts his boss, Anthony, another crime boss involved in a gang war with the German. Anthony scolds him for the failure and emphasizes the package's importance. Meanwhile, Luis has brought information to Anthony about how valuable the package is, enough to pay off Eddie's debt. Anthony, dressed more like a professor than a gangster, plans to use the package to negotiate with the German. He tells his men to circulate Tommy's photos so they can intercept him before the handoff. Elsewhere, the German is in his kitchen, casually making a smoothie while interrogating a bleeding man. He chats about fruits, fish on toast, and calmly explains the man will never walk again. When the man refuses to talk, the German finds an address in his wallet and threatens his family. This forces the man to confess Anthony's involvement, and the German kills him immediately. Back with Anthony, his associate Carl informs him that the Germans sent them footage of the ambush at his house. Angry, Anthony launches into a villainous rant. Meanwhile, Tommy is shown patching himself up in a public bathroom. He calls Big Doug and expresses doubts, saying he wants out. Doug offers to send someone else but warns that Tommy's pay will be cut in half, making it impossible to pay Eddie's debt. Left with no choice, Tommy continues with the mission and calls Darla for a brief, heartfelt conversation before hitching a ride to Vancouver. In Vancouver, Tommy is recognized by a security guard who alerts Carl. Carl calls Devin to respond. Carl confronts Tommy, and a brutal fight ensues, ending with Tommy pinning Carl down. Just as Tommy walks away, Devin appears, and Monique, Devin's accomplice, sneaks up and tasers Tommy. They capture him and take him to a hideout, where Monique holds a surgical knife to his face. Anthony arrives and stops her, saying they need Tommy alive if they want to negotiate. He leans in, asks Tommy what makes him so special, and Tommy responds by headbutting him to death. Devin tries to take matters into his own hands and contact the German, but things go sideways when Tommy escapes his restraints during Monique's weak attempt at torture. He defeats Devin but is knocked out by another thug. Tommy wakes up tied to a hospital bed, facing the German and a doctor. It's revealed that the German betrayed Tommy in the past and now wants his rare blood. Tommy asks what was in the package, and the German says it was football tickets. Tommy himself was the real package. Big Doug had sold him out because Tommy shares an extremely rare HH blood type, which the German needs to replace his own diseased blood. That's also why Big Doug made all his men get physical exams. As the German leaves, the doctor begins the procedure, but Tommy tricks him by pretending his blood is toxic. As the doctor leans in, Tommy bites his neck, breaks free, and takes down the guards. The German intercepts him, and they engage in a vicious final fight. Tommy kills him with a gunshot and drives home. First, he confronts Big Doug. Sitting across the table from him with a shotgun in hand, Tommy listens as Doug explains that it was just business. The German had threatened his entire family. Tommy, though angry, understands. Doug offers to clear Eddie's debt and let Tommy walk away. Tommy accepts and leaves. Tommy then visits Eddie in prison. Eddie is overwhelmed to hear the debt is gone and promises to turn things around. They bump fists through the glass, finally at peace. In the final scene, Tommy tries to sell the car he got from the German's house, only to discover a large stash of money in the trunk. He calls Darla to say he's on his way home, with a surprise, and ends the call with "I love you." The end.